Good day to you, Willard Shepard on the Miami Community News Network here from the Florida Bar Conference. We're broadcasting from Orlando thanks to a leader in the legal technology world, Array, allowing us to come here from Orlando today. And we're joined by one of my good friends and a fine lawyer here in the state of Florida, Mr. Michael Davis, who is also the president of the Wilkie D. Ferguson Bar Association. Counselor, always great to see you. And we appreciate you sitting down with us. First of all, big picture, Wilkie D has such a tremendous force in our community, trying to help people, many who can't afford to have a lawyer. Just tell me more about the mission and how you're trying to serve people across the state.
So, the Wilkie D. Ferguson Jr. Bar Association, we've been around since 1976. So we're celebrating our 50th year as a bar organization. And one of our core missions is to ensure that all members of our community have access to legal services. And so you'll find very often that members of our community just can't afford a lawyer. And so just having a legal workshop where you can go in and ask those family law questions, those landlord-tenant questions, those estate planning questions really makes a difference. And so that's really what we try to do. We try to host various legal clinics where members of the public can come and get free and very important legal advice.
Yeah, tell me about that outreach within the community. And actually people think, oh, I need to go sit down in your office or Ben Cooney's office. But you try to actually get out in the community to bring these legal services.
Exactly. And we try to partner with many of our community organizations. So for example, Legal Services, Legal Services of Miami, Greater Legal Services of Miami, we actually co-sponsored a number of landlord-tenant workshops. So with Greater Legal Services of Miami, we co-sponsored some landlord-tenant workshops. So we basically went to all the corners of the county. So we went to North Dade, South Dade, Central Dade, and East Dade, where we basically held landlord-tenant workshops. And it wasn't just for tenants, it was also for landlords. So as you came to that, you sort of got the basics of everything you needed to know about landlord-tenant law in Florida.
Tell me specifically about your practice. And you and I have such different practices in so many ways, but that can be and is a strength of the Wilkie D. Ferguson Bar Association.
It's so true. So that our members, we have any kind of lawyer that you can need. So we have aviation law, which is what you do. On our end, we do criminal defense. We do appeals. Both Ben Cooney and I are board certified appellate lawyers. We have family law lawyers. We have probate lawyers. Wilkie D it's like your standard bar association. It has every area of the law that you could imagine. And it really makes a difference when someone calls up and they need a certain lawyer to help, and we're able to point them to someone who can actually help them.
Okay, well, we'll take you on a path in your specialty. We were just here with two of our judges in Miami-Dade County, and you're on one of these committees where these rules can eventually be set. People think that this inside lawyering may not impact them, but it actually can. So just highlight some of the things that you're focused on here today.
Yeah, so for me, I'm focused on, I'm part of the Appellate Court Rules Committee. And so we'll have our meeting on tomorrow, and I serve on the criminal law subcommittee. So our core purpose is, if things don't go right in a criminal case, how do you appeal that to the District Court of Appeal and then to the Florida Supreme Court? How do you take a writ, whether it's a petition for writ of certiorari or a petition for writ of prohibition? What are the available appellate avenues, and what is the process, so that everyone knows what the rules are? It's so important that, if you are a new lawyer, right, that there is just sort of this manual that sort of lays out what the rules are. And the rules committees are really there to make sure that any lawyer, and even pro se litigants, that anyone in the state of Florida, if they're trying to pursue an appeal, that the rules are clear, that the rules are set out, and that they're rules that are easily followed.
Okay. Now, we're remiss if we don't talk about some technology, because all day here, one full day basically at the Bar Association, we're talking about AI technology. We're talking about these other platforms that I think in many ways are bringing the law to our communities, which is so important.
Yeah. It's so true. I've used Prevail. Hi, Judge. How are you?
Always great to see our bar members come by. Yes.
Yes. So, yeah, it's really amazing how AI has really transformed the practice of law. I think my first introduction to AI was really Prevail. So we would use Prevail for our depositions, and we would get the instantaneous transcripts. And it really made having a running, closed caption of the deposition.
Instantaneously live.
Yeah, it made it, one, attainable, not so expensive, but also so helpful. And so you just see that from the depositions now to the reviewing of transcripts, the finding of issues, the brief writing process, the research process. AI is a part of everything that we do. And I remember when I started as a lawyer, the new things was terms and connectors in AI. And I found that as a lawyer, I could set myself apart because I knew how to use Westlaw, I know how to do the electronic research. And now I'm seeing that our law clerks and our younger lawyers who are able to use AI in their practice and are able to use it responsibly and accurately, they now sort of stand out above the rest. So AI is really transforming our practice. And I think for those of us who embrace AI and learn how to use it effectively, I think that it's another way to be a standout lawyer.
And also save clients money, which they all love.
That is, save clients money.
1000%. Okay, great. It's always great to see you. Thank you, Mr. President, my president here at the Wilkie D. Ferguson Bar Association, Michael Davis, for coming by to spend a few moments with us here on the Miami Community News Network. And we are always going to keep you up to speed. If you need a lawyer, certainly know that you can reach out to the Wilkie D. Ferguson Bar Association. If you can't afford one in Miami-Dade County, they'll do their very best to help you.
And Willard, let me just thank you for your service to the bar. You've been such a mentor to so many of us lawyers. And I just remember as a young lawyer, always looking up to you. And I've followed your career. And so I'm really grateful that you're such a big person in the community who's always been willing to give your time.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for your kind words, and we'll see you soon.